and welcome to Meeple Mentor Reviews. I'm Jared, and with me is Holly. And today we're discussing The Great Wall from Awaken Realms. I know they've done, it was originally funded via Kickstarter, and they're doing a lot of reprints, and I think it's already doing another campaign on GameFound. Of course, I might have gotten it on GameFound the first time around, which would make sense, because they own GameFound. But here we go. It is a really interesting 1-to-4 player game set in medieval China, with, some aspects of like building up different things collectively while also being a very competitive game. You have objectives, you have secret goals, you have a set of action cards that once used, they stay discarded out until you take an action to pick them up. There's a number of phases the game plays through each round that allows you to place your card out and put different workers out. And this is a game too where players, when you put your worker out, depending on how many of your guys are there and how many of other players are there, you're going to get a different amount of resources back. Sometimes an action takes more than one worker to trigger the action. So when the action is triggered, meaning there's enough workers there, that's when the players gain the benefits. So if you've got a lot on there, then maybe another player is not as incentivized to help out, because they're only going to place maybe one or two and not get as big of a return. So that you're kind of wanting to force that player who's already got guys there to just commit and go the whole way. Mm-hmm. It does have a lot of very interesting mechanisms because of the way that players, get to put out their guys. It's unique.
Yeah, I like that you are building. You mentioned the building. Mm-hmm. I like that you're actually building a wall. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of fun. You're trying to protect the wall too. So that's an integral part of the gameplay. So not only are you focused on resources, but you're focused on protection, building a barrier, keeping everything safe, meeting objectives.
Yeah, essentially there's 3 sections of the wall that are slowly getting built up by all players. And if you build a section, then you get points for it based on how many resources it costs. And you go from the lowest to the highest, the 3rd level. You can put archers on top of the wall, which they'll be able to inflict damage from afar. And you can also send out other warriors and your horsemen out onto the incoming enemy cards, which are going to be in that section's column. And so you're able to basically kill some of the enemies that come out by covering up the spots and earning the rewards of what's on the card. If a card gets fully covered, then points are awarded. Additionally, to the player who's contributed the most, you do get points if you contributed even with archers that don't occupy the card. You just put a little token out there. It's really interesting. I really enjoy how everything works together so well, and the different upgrades that you can do to improve your character and your class. You start out with 1 or 2 cards that you can use to get a benefit and then boost it, and then other cards you can gain to get a new benefit or boost the one you have. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of things at play that make it really fun, a really interesting game.
I think this was the first game I played that exposed me to the oncoming horde and protecting against it. And I really like that aspect of gameplay. It's one of the things that I love about Perseverance. Mm-hmm. So I think this was a great game to kind of introduce me to that, because there's a lot going on. It's a beautiful game.
Yes.
And
great
you're
miniatures.
you're kind of working together, but also against each other. And it's very interesting. I like that I was exposed to it early in my board gaming learning.
Yeah, it's certainly unique in how it does it, but having to fight off something has been done in other games. I think this one just does it in a very eloquent way.
It does. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's very smooth. The management of, like how everything moves and operates isn't too bad. Like it's not too rules heavy on, upkeep or, what enemies do when things happen. It's pretty cool. Like it's just a very well designed, beautiful looking game with some very unique concepts and ways to play your workers on the board. Like the cards, they have like a top thing that happens and then a round of things in the middle, and then the bottom part happens. It's just really cool how you get to do that. And then once you've committed the card, it's going to stay out unless you choose to take all your cards back. But if every time you leave the card out, you're going to score points. So there's a constant, push and pull of, do I really need that card in the next round, or do I want to leave it to start adding up extra points? And then maybe you just play every card once and get a whole bunch of points that way. But now you're more diversified and everyone's starting to know like what you're going to do, because literally most of your cards are just gone. So this idea of like the competitive cooperative nature, and how other players know what you have available to do is really interesting. And like I said, it looks great. The miniatures are great. The artwork's great. And it's got a very smooth gameplay to it. I like how it looks with, the Great Wall pieces actually getting built and placed out. And, the longer the game goes on, it just looks even more impressive, especially with the more Horde cards that come out.
It is a table hog.
Yeah. You're going to want a big table for this, but you're also going to want this game. It's a lot of fun, and I highly, highly recommend it.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you can get your hands on a copy, or if they do another crowdfund campaign, then definitely get this game. The Great Wall is a lot of fun, and if you like unique worker placement games and you like games that have, that working together nature of something's attacking, but it's still very competitive on your own, this is really solid and just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so
it's a good game.
So that's been our thoughts on The Great Wall. Thanks for tuning in, and certainly stick around the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any of our other video content like tutorials, unboxings, news, podcast, and much more. So until the next video, I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
I'll see you later.